channel. Today I'm going to talk about how to file ITR2. Well, many of us might think that ITR2 is a bit difficult than ITR1. Well, it's not like the case. Of course, it involves a couple of more steps to be followed in ITR2, but you can compare it's as easy as filing ITR1. Okay. So before we get started, let's have a look like who are all applicable actually to file the ITR2. Well, now that you know like who are all applicable to file ITR2, now let's start. Okay. Okay. So there are two ways to file these tax returns. One is through the income tax official website, and other is through the desktop utility which is already been provided by income tax department. For ITR2, I would recommend that you follow this desktop utility because at least as on the day of recording, I've seen a couple of bugs in filing the same in income tax portal. So better we can go for it. Desktop utility. Okay. All right. So the first step is um, once you install it, you will come back to this page. Click on File Returns. It will take you to here. Here you need to there are three options actually. Download pre-filled data. Well, what you can do is you can download your pre-filled JSON data from the uh, e-filing website itself. Once you have it available with you, you can import pre-filled data, or you can directly import draft ITR file in online mode, right? So since I already have it in my system, I can just go and straight away import it. So let's go and do that. Let's say put your PAN, random PAN, and the moment you will click proceed, it will ask you to attach the JSON file, right? Once you attach it, I already have it attached, so I'm not just going to the next step. Rather, I'll show you once you attach it, how it will look like. So it will look like this, okay, like a pre-filled data, right? So once you start filing, once you have this data available, you can click on start file returns, right? Now, since I've already started this process, so the draft version, under draft version, there is always there will be an entry of the last edited ITR2. So I'm just taking you through this one. Okay. Now the very next page, once you come to this, there will be multiple sections on the left hand side: general, income, deduction, tax, and others. Now you have to carefully choose which options are applicable to you, right? So in general, you don't have really much of a choice. This is kind of a default that you cannot just avoid it. And the second two, as you can see, it's pretty much self-explanatory. And if it is applicable, you can select and we can proceed to the next section. Okay. Now coming to the income. Income is definitely it has to be from the salary. It has to be ticked. And then if you have a house property, and if you're drawing an income out of that, or if you have a loan against house property, you are paying loan, that means you have some interest to pay. Definitely you have to select this. If you have any capital gains, be it from any property or any a share or mutual fund, anything, so that also you need to take it out. And then 112A is part of capital gains. So in case if you have a capital gains from shares mutual fund, you have to select this. Okay. And if 115AD, if it is applicable to you, have to select. Mostly it is not. And if you have any other sources, income from other sources like any income from banks, fixed deposits, savings accounts, you have to take it out. And then if you have an exempt income, If it is applicable, definitely have to select it, but I'm just going through the very basic ones, which is applicable to most of us. And then I think this is a foreign source of income. If you have any foreign source of income, you need to give the you need to tick the box, and then you can proceed to the next section. Okay. So this is all about income. Let's coming to the deduction part. Deduction is which are all applicable. This ATG is especially for donations. I think all these sections, which is applicable or not, you can very well see the details. And there is a link also learn more, right? So mostly the ATD chapter 6 is applicable to most of us. So I have just ticked these two for now. And the tax part, you better select. This is all mandatory. The first two are mandatory, and then the tax payments, right? If you have paid any self-assessment tax or any other tax, those will be coming into this. So and in a TDS, TCS, whichever is applicable, I think these are mostly applicable. So I have ticked all this. Then the others part, others. If you have any losses to be carried forwarded or brought forwarded, those you can select here in the other section. Okay, I think AMTC is, you can just ignore it. It's not that necessary, but yeah. So this is pretty much of it, and then we can proceed to the next section. Let's go. Okay, so there'll be a couple of questions. If you answer these questions, some of the inputs will be taken from your answers and will be pre-filled to the next section. So I'm just skipping it because it's not necessary in our case. Okay, so this is how the next page looks like. Okay, so the first part is our general information. Let's go inside. I have put some dummy data, but here things will be taken directly from the JSON file, and here you don't have to do anything. All will be pre-filled, right? So the next thing is contact. So as it was before, personal information. So this will also be pre-filled, but in case if you want it, you can still edit it. Okay. So similarly to the filing status, since you're filing it on or before due date, so you can select this one. And if you're choosing the new tax regime, or you can still opt for the previous one, you can choose your option accordingly. I have chosen no, so the rest of the options will not be applicable. You have to choose this very carefully. Now the next thing is this one, 115H. If you can claim the benefit under this. Okay, so this is mostly no. This is also no if you are governed by Portuguese Civil Code. And details of the representative associate, whether this return is filed by representative associate. If it is filed by somebody else, and then you can select yes. Details of directorship, if it is applicable, you can select yes or else no, mostly no. So details of unlisted equity shares, if you have any unlisted equity shares, you can select yes, else no. Mostly it is no. Okay. So this is it, and then you have the pre-filled bank details. Mostly these are taken from the last year um, uh, income tax file information, but still you are free to add any other bank if you want. Okay, but one important thing is you have to select any one of these banks, at least one. You have to nominate it for refund if applicable, right? Okay, so that's it from the generic part. So once it is done for the first time, it will be showing something like confirm this green button, and it will be written like this. Okay, but the next thing is scheduled salary. Okay, salary part, you have to, I have filled some of the things already, so that is why it is showing already pre-filled. But in your case, it will not be anything like that, right? Even if it says that it will be the JSON data is imported, and you have taken the JSON to file ITR2 and all, but most of the things you have to give the input, right? So I'm just clicking on edit just to show how it is, how it looks like. Okay, so you have to give the name of the employer where you're currently employed. If you have multiple employer, you have to add multiple. that will show you, and the address, pin code, state, and all this. Okay, the next thing is salary. Salary division you have to give, like how much you're drawing as a basic, yeah, how much is HRA, how much is any other allowance if applicable. So I'm just showing three things, but probably in your case, could be different. If somebody has in a DA, he has to mention the DA, all components you just sort it out and then come up with the final annual figure, put it here, right? All this will be calculated here. And under section 17 2, if it is applicable to you, you can see that if any one of these is applicable to you, you can still fill it. Mine is not. And profit in lieu of salary as per section 17.3. So that means here also you can see if any one of these is applicable to you, mostly not. So just leave it blank. So the gross salary is this much. Okay, click on save. Come out of this. And if you have multiple employers in the same year, then you can definitely click add another. So it will give you the same options to be filled like this one. So after this, allowance, point number 3, allowance to the exempt under section 10. So let's see what it is. So let me try to edit it here. Okay, so under this there are many things are 10, 10, 10, 10, 13. So to see which is applicable to you. Mostly we have HRA, right? HRA, we just submit HRA for tax redemption, tax exemption. So for this one you can still fill it, right? So I have selected HRA here, and the annual amount, so you have to give it, so it will automatically calculate how much deduction it can give it to you because of this HRA, right? Now just come out of this. If you have multiple options to add, you can still add it. And then if you come to point number 5, you'll see automatically the standard deduction is 50,000 always as per the last visit. So this is not going to change. You cannot even change it. And additionally, you have to give the information professional tax. So um, if it is 200 or 150, accordingly you have to just give an annual figure. So I have given something like this. So totally it is becoming 52,400, and that would be adjusted with your salary that you mentioned. So it is this one now, right? So head salaries is now this much. Okay. Now let me go back to, okay, the salary part is complete. Now we'll come to house property. If you have any house property, which is, you have, you got a loan to buy a house and you're paying the loan, that means there are interests with it. So you can specify all the details and you can get the benefit in terms of income tax. Right? So click on edit. These are the details of the house property I have given, and this is pretty much self-explanatory. And then you have to mention like if there is any owner or present or not. If they are present, what is the percentage, your percentage, so like that, and the co-owners details like that. Okay, so and the type of house property, if it is self-occupied or if it is let out, that you have to give, and interest, the interest you are paying um, annually for this property, right? So I've just put the figure here. So this will be deducted, right? Okay. Now this is done. I'm clicking back option, but you have to click confirm. Okay. Since I don't want to change the data, what I have already entered, so you have to click on confirm, right? Okay. Schedule of capital gains. So this part is a bit tricky, and this needs little calculation. I have a detailed video down below in the descriptions. Please check this out. So that entails only this section, how to file capital gains, and I've taken an example to illustrate the entire thing. So please follow that. So I'm not covering this capital gain section here because it's gonna take some time. So just follow my video. I think that will help you. Okay. After capital gains, this 112A. So 112A is a part of capital gains which is already been covered in the same video. So I'm not gonna take you through these capital gains and 112A for now. Okay. Just follow the video. I think that will be helpful. If you have any question, do feel free to ask in the comment section. Schedule income from other sources. Yeah, as I said, if you have any source of income from other sources, let's say a very common example is interests, right? So interest is could be from savings account, fixed deposit, or in case if you have any refund last year from income tax or any other income that you like to specify, we can specify here. Okay, and these will be charged as per your present tax slab, right? Um, you have to click add another if you want to add anything here. Dividend income, gross income. If you have any rental income, these also you can fill it out here, right? So let's say rental income. You have to just fill it. Let's say okay. So all this is already there, and then if it is applicable to you under section 58 and 59, I think this is for tax rebate. You can fill it up. Mine is not. So the next thing is, I think this is pretty much it for this section. And if you have any income from other sources, especially for these ones, you need to tell explicitly for each of these sources how much you gained, um, in which duration, how much is the profit income, basically, right? Okay, so that's it pretty much for the other sources section. Let me go back to the schedule part once again. Okay, now this CYLA, if you have any loss to be carried forwarded to the next year, or if you have loss to be brought forward to the current year, I mean, to be brought forward or current year loss to be carried, anything. So if these are applicable, you can still fill it. I think there is nothing much. You can still fill it. I think this is already just have to compute set off, right? So uh, all the information will be pre-filled based on your previous inputs, and you just need to compute set off, right? Yeah. Okay. So our part is 80D now. In the 80D, you have to select which is applicable to you. Mostly, you click on edit. Okay. Under 80D, mostly if you have any health insurance or if you have, you have done any health checkup, and if you have, if you are if you are doing any kind of I would say the preventive health checkup for your parents also, that can be covered. If you have any medical expenditures, any kind of medicines you purchased for your parents who are of course senior citizen, that also you can put the figure here, right? So this is pretty much self-explanatory, and let me just take you through once again. Health insurance, in case whether you and your family member is a senior citizen, it is no, of course. So here, if it is no, then these are the options will be applicable to you. The second section will be disabled, right? So like this, you just fill it up, and if this is yes, then this section is will open up, and then health insurance we can put preventive health checkup. I think there is a limit. I think 5,000 here. You can put maximum for the preventive health checkup. There is error coming up. Amount of preventive health checkup claim for self and family must not exceed 5,000. I think already I mentioned 5,000. That is why it is not allowing me to enter anything right here. So let's total it has to be 5,000 for the entire family. Right. Okay. So medical expenditure. If you have any medical expenditure for your parents who are senior citizen, let's say doctor visit, medical medicine cost, or any kind of lab test, all can be combined here, and you can put the figure right here. Okay. Okay. So I'm just canceling it, going back to the previous stage. That's it. Like the total figure, it will be summed up and it will be shown here. Okay. Now after 80D, we have for schedule 6A. Okay. Under 6A, there are a couple of things. Let me open up. So this it's saying ATC. ATC is very popular among us. So ATC you need to fill it up. Basically, this will not be shown exactly as currently it is being shown, but you have to click on add another and you have to choose the appropriate section which is applicable to you. Since you have filed ATT in the previous schedule, so this will automatically be appearing here. You cannot just edit anything. In case if you want to edit anything here, you can just click on view schedule ATT. It will take you to the same section. It will allow you to edit, right? And the other sections which is applicable under part B, that you can click on add another and you can still add it, right? ATE, ATCC, ATCCD, anything which is applicable to you, right? And the description is pretty much right in the very next to the section, right? Now this ATC, it has a limit 1,50,000, so I have put that and here. So even if it is more than 1,50,000, the eligible amount will always be 1,50,000, right? Okay. Then comes to part C. In the part C, there are a couple of things, but currently, let me show you. ATU, ATQ, WQB. So these are all the applicable sections here. But for me, only one section is applicable, so that is why I didn't choose the others. Okay, so that's it for chapter 6A. Let me go back to the schedules. After 6 accounts, if you have any income which is to be um, carried forward to the next year, or if you have any losses to be brought forward, or current year loss to be carried. So these are the applicable section for this. Here you pretty much don't have to do anything. All the inputs that you have, you know, as per the previous schedules, all will be coming into here, and then basically you need to just confirm it, and same for BFLM, and then here also you need to just compute set off. Yeah, that's all I think. Right. So the important thing right here is the total income calculation. So here also you don't have to do anything. All the input that you have given uh, as per the previous schedules, all will be coming here, and all the incomes, be it is from salary, house property, capital gains, all will be clubbed together, and the deductions, everything will be adjusted according to that. You will be getting the aggregate income. So that is the income based on which your tax will be determined. Right? Now, after that, we have a section called tax paid. Here you have, if you have any TDS deducted as a part of your from your salary as part of PDS, anything is deducted. That information you can definitely put it here. You just need to put the PAN number of the employer, the name, the income chargeable under salaries, your gross salary which is chargeable, uh, right? Chargeable income. This you need to put this is different annual figure, and your the tax which is deducted per month. Just club it together, come up with the annual figure, put it right here. This information you can pretty much get it from the form 16B and form 26AS. 26AS you can get it from the Traces website. I will put the in the description box all these important links where from you can get it. And form 16 is given by your employer, right? Okay. So if you have multiple employer, you can put multiple entries right here. Like this TDS one, you can file TDS two, TDS three also. And one important aspect is this advance tax and self-assessment tax. If you have paid any self-assessment tax or advance tax, you can fill in the details here. Basically, it's a BSR code, date of deposit, challan number, and amount. All these informations you'll be getting at the moment you pay the tax as advance tax or self-assessment tax, right? Just make a note of this and come back here, input all these things. Right? So once these are done, let me go to the schedule. I think we have one section left, that is computation of tax on total income TTI, right? So let's see what is there. So here this schedule, you will get to know like what is the applicable tax for you and what is the amount and the details of it, right? So up to this, if you see all the tax payable on total income, this much, right? Any rebate it is if it is applicable, that will also be adjusted right here. The health and education says that that has to be 4% of the income, taxable income, of course. Uh, yeah, total income, tax payable on total income. So that you need to pay, and then the gross pay tax payable this much, and interest and fees payable. All right, so this is something you need to see, like why these interests are there. So what I can see is in case if you are a default in paying the advance tax, this amount will be there. All these amounts is coming up as per your total income, right? And interest of different of advance tax. So these two depends on basically if there is a lapse in paying the tax, and how much is the lapse, like after how many months you were due to pay this, right? Okay. So in case if you have any self-assessment tax paid, then that will come up here along with TDS also, right? So if that is there, in case if it here it is zero for now, but in case if it is there, that will also be adjusted with the amount payable, and the final figure will be shown up here, right? So now, as per this case, it is asking me to pay 1,69,185 rupees as a tax to be paid, and that is why this pay now link has come up. So once you click on pay now link, okay, so before that there is one more section here. Do you at any time during the previous year have any income from foreign sources? It is no, right? If you have yes, you can click yes and click on the applicable section. Okay, so once you click on pay now, then you have to, it will take you to the in a separate link altogether where you need to pay the tax as a self-assessment tax or advance tax. I need to collect all this information like BSF code, challan number, challan date, all this information, right? So once that is done, you need to come back to the previous schedule section, previous schedule, this one, let me take it 1 second. The tax paid section, you need to file the details of your advance tax paid or self-assessment tax paid right here. And then that will be adjusted with your total taxable income, total tax payable definitely, and accordingly it will be showing zero, right? Once it is shown zero, then there will be an option come up, it will come up here, just to go to the next page, and the next page you'll have another chance to go through all the informations that you have put, if it is correct or not. In case anything to be edited or modified, then you can come back to that particular section and then change it, and then come back to this section once again, and finally you can submit it. So while submitting, you need to it will ask you to enter the user identity password of e-file section of income tax department. And once it is there, submitted properly, then your filing is over. But the next step is you need to e-verify, okay, as you do for ITR1 and any other return, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it, and then I think this video is helpful to you. All right, so that's it for today, guys. See you in next video. Bye bye.